BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe. I'm your regular Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. It is week 494. It is our second week in this particular week is it's a week that we all pull a movie from a specific year, and the year happens to be 1968. All week long, all you're getting is 1968. And I'm sure many throughout the week will have a better time reviewing or watching, should I say, than I kind of did with this one. This one was this was tough for me. I do my absolute best to be very as positive as I can be. And I will. Look, this has got, I think, Leonard Maltin. I think he said it was a candidate for worst film ever at the time it came out. It was made on a budget of like $37,000. It does star John Carradine. It does have its points and reasons why I would suggest you ought to check it out, albeit maybe for free. Look, I don't know if I would have necessarily bought this or not. I did get it on the cheap. I don't know, I think it was like 10, 12 bucks or something off Amazon. But I do like to try my best that when I'm going to talk about a film, introduce a film on BodyBags, I do like to be holding it. Do I wish I could send it back? I don't know. It's a piece of the 60s. Ted Mikels, if that's how you say it. He was the director. He did Corpse Grinders, which is interesting. This was first released. Now, this brings back memories as a kid renting VHS. This was first released by Wizard Video back in '68. And I'm sure I would have seen this cover on a VHS box in all of its glory. I'll say some of the high points of this movie. Let's just start off. It is a piece of the 60s, okay? It was made for $37,000. But John Carradine, as I said, is in it. And then you got this girl who I'm new to, Tura, who plays Satana. She was a lot of fun for the most part, she was a lot of fun to watch. She was evil. I think she was in that Faster, Pussycat, Kill, something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered the title. But John Carradine, her, and then a whole slew of other characters that probably did a lot of TV cop drama stuff back in the day. Wendell Corey, Tom Pace, Joan Patrick, Rafael, Campos, Joseph Hoover. It's just a few names there. Basic synopsis on here. Now, here's another reason to check it out. Watching John Carradine play a mad scientist. Now, it's not going to be too long after this. Well, actually, maybe a decade, right? He'll be in Shockwaves as a disgruntled boat captain who's never in a good mood. Here he's a disgruntled scientist who's never in a good mood. Apparently, he was part of like NASA or something, like whatever, right? Space agency in development and creating new technology. And in this case, in this particular film, he is trying to create the perfect astronaut, deep space explorer without actually sending people, but creatures called Astro-Zombies that you can remote control. Hence the beginning of the movie and the book, which is bookended by toy robots sort of marching. It's just sort of this science and military marching in step with one another, which can be a very terrifying thing, actually. Well, he's disgruntled. He gets, for whatever reason, gets fired, probably because of his unorthodox way of going about things. So he goes into business for himself and continues his development of these things. Well, there's an international spy ring who also takes notice of him, who is trying to ascertain. This is where Tura Sirany comes in. She basically wants part of this, or take the whole thing. And so she's got her own people working for her. You got the CIA in here. You got a lot of spying going on, backstabbing going on, there's not a lot of terror. I mean, the film opens up with an interesting, you get the girl driving home late at night, a lot of day for night shots. And I will say this was a little creepy. She's in her garage getting out of the car, and she, right off the bat, and it kind of actually reminded me of that early scene in the second X-Files film. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. And so she's already spooked, and her hair's, you just know her hairs go up on her back of her neck, and she just knows something's in her garage. Well, it's one of these things, and these things apparently are escaping from the laboratory and going out and running amok and just creating some carnage. Not a lot to speak of the carnage. I'll say this, you got like all these moving pieces, and they're all sort of moving towards the end finale, which I would say the film gets its payoff at the very end. When all these varying moving pieces sort of collide, that's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck out of your $37,000. There's even a decapitation, head, although it looks pretty fake, head rolling. It's there's a lot of sort of people who should get their just desserts will get their just desserts, and it's probably a good example of how a lot of movies were probably back then, especially the ones that ran on the drive-in. And I could see myself actually digging this at a drive-in back in the day. The first time I put this in, I just got this not that long ago. The first time I put it in, I tried it. There's a riff racks, if that's what it is exactly, a commentary track. I tried. It just wasn't doing anything for me. Chris Alexander's got a commentary on here. He's a big fan of the director and the film. I try to listen to some of that. I have a hard time with listening to Chris Alexander for some reason. I won't take away anything from him in terms of his knowledge, expertise. I think he was, wasn't he an editor, supervisor editor, Gorezone, maybe, Fangoria? But anyways, he comes with, his level of knowledge and whatnot. And then there's the director commentary, which I did not try to listen to. But my first two attempts, I basically just stopped the film and went off to something else. But this morning, I had a chance to put it on this morning, and without any commentaries or anything, let's let the film be what it is. And I actually was pretty surprised. I actually got into it. And I mean, I did stop a few points to go, take care of a few things and come back, which I don't usually do when I'm watching a film. But I did ride this out to the end, and I'll say the final payoff was pretty good in the end. And, it's weird. This is a weird movie because you almost sort of sympathize with John Carradine's character. There's nothing really to dislike about him. If he's supposed to be the antagonist of the film, I'm not sure there's a whole lot to dislike about him. He's just a cool character to watch. I love John Carradine, man. This was released on DVD and Blu-ray, I believe, by Kino Lorber. Pretty darn good release. Again, I think I said Wizard Video first put this out back in the day. I'll say this: the second unit guy on this was known for Alligator in '80. I think we all know that one. Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker in '81. Shooting those. I think he was either shooting or art set design or whatever. But anyways, you had some people connected with this that also went on to do other things, which is always cool. So again, here in week 494, I decided to tackle a film. I'll be honest, I've always wanted, and it's the cover, man. It's how can you, yeah, and here's the backside too, if you want to see the backside. You can't really say a whole lot bad about the cover art. That's pretty classic. I wouldn't mind having that on my wall, a big theatrical poster. That would be pretty cool. Next time I put this in, I probably won't put this in for quite a while. But like I said, it's definitely worth checking out. The end finale is pretty good, and some of the effects. This guy with the long, sort of curved machete, you'll see him at the end, waving that thing around. Anyways, well, I'll just call it there, I guess. Not bad. A little tough for me to get through, but not bad. As always, man, we leave these things off with Go Bills. Enjoy your week of 68.